Now then, welcome to another video. So today I thought I'd show you my Soviet army that I've collected for Rapid Fire Reloaded. As you can see, it's all based for Flames of War, but I think you can use it just as well in Rapid Fire with one base representing two figures or a machine gun team or whatever. So what you can see in front of you there is my rifle regiment. So it's got an HQ and 3 battalions with some supporting bits. What I'll do is I'll show you it in a bit more detail. So first up then, we've got a Soviet HQ unit. Again, same as what I did with my Germans. I've made it like a command base. These guys won't really be in combat anyway. They kind of just sit at the back and they're just the overall force commander. So got a couple of officers there, a map table, a radio truck. I think this radio truck came from QRF. Not the best model in the world. You can still see the mold lines on it. Bear in mind I painted these in the early 2000s, possibly late 90s. Yeah. Not the best, but they'll do. Big chunk of metal, that. And then it's got an anti-aircraft gun. I'm not quite sure what this is. I'm tempted to say it's a Bofors. It kind of looks like a Bofors, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember. So I've got an anti-aircraft gun. And I run out of trucks to tow it. So I gave it this little, is it a Consomlets or something? Little artillery tractor. I just seem to have one of those lying about. So that can tow that about. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things. So that's the HQ unit. And then behind it, we've got the actual HQ for the rifle regiments. This is separate. This is like your army commander. Okay, so we'll move on to the rifle regiment. So moving on then, we'll look at the headquarters section for the rifle regiment. So we've got the regimental commander. They're both battlefront figures. The one with the helmet on is a Peter Pig officer. I had loads of these transfers spare that I got for the tanks with slogans on and things, so I just stuck them on banners. I don't know how historically accurate that is, probably not at all, but kind of looked cool at the time. So that's the commander, and what he's got attached to him, he's got a 220mm mortars. I believe these are QRF figures. Yeah, they are. That mortar is massive, isn't it? Yep, so there's 2 of those, and they go in the truck. And then there's a 76.2mm anti-tank gun. Again, I think this might be a Peter Pig gun and battlefront crew. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, that's that. And they're towed around by this little Stalin X tractor. Seem to have 2 of these. That picked up from somewhere, so I thought I might as well put them in use somewhere. So you can tow that. Then what it's also got, it's got an attached SMG company. So this will be an SMG company of 6 figures. Obviously each base just represents 2 figures. And they're a bit of a mix of figures as well. I think they're all actually battlefront on that particular base. Yeah. This one here has got a bit more of a mix on it. So the guy in the middle there, he's a battlefront model, and then you got a Skytrex guy and 2 Peter Pig. I think they mix up all right when they're all stuck on a base together like that. Yeah, I think they kind of work. And then there's the artillery observer. So again, same as my Germans, I decided what I'm going to do is keep all the artillery off table and just have the observer teams actually on the gaming table itself. So that's that. A guy there with a radio, observer with his binos, and they travel around in their little gas jeep. Again, another QRF model. Yeah, blimey, can't tell I painted these a long time ago. But they'll do. I think they'll work okay. So that's the HQ element. What we'll do next is we'll move on to the actual battalions. So what we'll do is we'll just have a look at one of the rifle battalions, because all three are exactly the same. So we have a battalion commander, again, same as the other one really. I think they're all Peter Pig on there, apart from the guy with the flag, he's Battlefront. We have an anti-tank rifle team, Peter Pig. And a commissar team. They're not actually part of the organisation, but I've got loads of them left over from my Flames of War stuff. I just want to just include them somewhere. So I might just stick them in. I might take them out. I don't know. Then what we've got is we've got 3 rifle companies, 4 bases in each. So that's 8 figures that represents. So 1, 2, 3 companies. At the back, we've got a machine gun company, 2 bases of Maxims in each battalion. They're Battlefront figures, I think. Then we've got 82mm mortars. They're Peter Pig. And a 50mm mortar in the mortar company. Strange how the Soviets had it organised, so they've got the mixed calibre of mortars together in the same company. But I suppose you could split them up and attach the sort of support weapons to different companies. So like maybe if you've got one of the companies who's going to be providing fire support, you could chuck the 50mm mortar with them, or the machine guns or whatever, and mix it up a little bit. But all 3 battalions are exactly the same. And then we've got some supporting assets at the back there. So the first supporting element I've got for the rifle regiment is a anti-tank company, or the Soviets would call it a battalion. So that's basically 3 45mm anti-tank guns. These are Battlefront models. Again, painted a long time ago. There's another one. Yeah, so there's 3 anti-tank guns. I suppose you could split those up and give one platoon of them, which is what this represents, to each battalion. And then each one's got its own truck that tows it. And those trucks are a mixture of the Battlefront ones and QRF ones. I think that one on the right hand side, sorry, on the left hand side, there is a metal. Yeah, it is. That's a metal QRF one. When I got it, it didn't have any back, so I had to build it out of cardboard, which is why it's a little bit ropey, but it'll do. And then the next supporting asset I've got then is a tank destroyer battalion. So yeah, the tank destroyer battalion, we've got a HQ vehicle, which is T-34. There it is there. These are really old Battlefront models. Back in the days where I used to get them in like a little toy car box, it almost looked like. They weren't in the blister packs that you'd see these days. Yeah, really old. They came out alright, I think. With the tank riders on the back. I did used to have these tank riders separate, but all the paint just got constantly chipped off them, so in the end I just glued them on. And they're just there just because they look kind of cool. And then 2 Su-85 tank destroyers. It's a T-34 chassis, similar to it's like an assault gun, isn't it really? But it's got the long 85mm gun in it. Yeah, nice models those actually. Yeah, so that's those. Do have to explain the weird green I've used on all my Russian vehicles. So I started painting these when I was on tour in Northern Ireland, of all places, and I could not get any green paint, and this is in the late 90s, early 2000s. So the only green I could get was like this coloured, this kind of dark forest green craft paint, and that's what it is. I have actually gone over it with an Agrak Surfshade wash just to tone it down a little bit, and I think they look a little bit better. Like I say, I could go back and repaint all these, but I'm not going to, I don't think. They look okay, I think. But yeah, that is my rifle regiment. what we'll look at next is the Independent Tank Brigade. Right then, so moving on, what we've got there is the Independent Soviet Tank Brigade. What we'll do first, before we look at the tanks, we'll look at the supporting motor rifle battalion. Okay then, so what we've got then is a motor rifle battalion that was attached to the Independent Tank Brigade. Again, just got the headquarters, no flag this time. It's too much hassle getting it in and out of trucks. Anti-tank rifle team, and a jeep, same as the others that it'll travel about in. Again, that's a QRF one. And again, I've stuck that little commissar team there, or NKVD team with them. Whether or not I'll actually use that, I don't know. And then there's the anti-aircraft gun again. I'm pretty sure that is a Bofors. Someone let me know what that is. I cannot remember what it was called. It's kind of a cool model though. And then there's the truck that tows it, and again that's a QRF one with a scratch built flatbed at the back out of cardboard. I think it's actually a cornflakes box or something that I chopped up. It could be a beer mat actually. Who knows? It looks alright though. And then what we've got is we've got 3 SMG companies, each of 8 figures, or 4 bases in my case. These are all pretty much Battlefront figures, all these guys. Yeah. So that's the SMG companies, and they are mounted in trucks. So each company's got a truck transporting it, and then it's got a support company. Again with the is it Stalinets, that little tractor? It's really dark for some reason. Got a 76.2mm anti-tank gun, a 45mm anti-tank gun. I could do with a little bit of paint repair on it. I've had quite a few of these good actually looking at them. But it's truck, and then there's machine gun and a 82mm mortar there as well. So that is the motor rifle battalion. What you could do is get rid of all the trucks that transport the infantry and mount the infantry actually on the tanks. If you were doing like a spearhead assault kind of thing, to get rid of the trucks. But I've got the trucks, so I'll probably use them. What I'll do now then, look at the tank battalion. So what I've got there then is a Soviet tank battalion. We've got the headquarters tank, or the command tank. That's that one. I think that was one of the special characters that Battlefront came out with. I think it was a female commander or a female driver that was in it or something. Can't remember. Yeah, but that's that one. Again with the tank riders stuck on the back. They kind of look like they're floating. You can see daylight under the base, but we'll pretend we didn't see that. Then on the table you can't see it. Yes, that's kind of cool. And then it has a little recce company of a BA-64 armoured car with its proper droopy machine gun. Let me straighten that while we're here. There we are. Kind of fixed it. That's an old metal one. They have put out resin ones of these now, but this is an old metal one. And then what there is there's basically three battalions of tanks, or what we'd know as companies of tanks, but Soviets seem to upscale everything in their organisation. It was a bit strange the way they did it, but what we've got is a battalion of T-34s in 2 companies, so 2 tanks and 2 tanks in that battalion. Same in that one. And then at the back there we've got T-70s, light tanks, which are these guys, little tiny things. They did bring out an updated version of these, or Battlefront did. They're a bit wider, so I think these original models for some reason are really narrow, which they weren't quite as narrow as that, so they're a bit weird, these tanks, but I think they'll work. And it does move. Yeah, all little turrets and that move on them. As I'd expect. And again, I painted it in that weird green craft paint, but I think I'll get away. I think they look alright. Green's green, isn't it? I'm sure all the paint wasn't exactly the same. Yeah, yeah, so that's the tank battalion. So that's like the main spearhead sort of assault of my Soviet army. Or you could have it as an off-table reserve or something like that to come flying on in turn 3 and cause havoc, kind of thing. But anyway, what we'll do is look at the supporting assets I've got for this tank brigade. So first up then, we've got a close support battalion of 2 Su-122s. So these are 122mm howitzers built into there. So I thought they could go with the tanks, just in case they come across any stubborn infantry. They'll probably follow along with the infantry, the SMG battalion, or the motorised battalion, just in case there's any strong points need blowing up. Yeah, again, Battlefront models. Quite nice, those ones, I like them. So there's 2 of them. And then there is a heavy tank battalion. Let's move this camera slightly closer. There we are. So we have a command tank, and these are KV-1Ss, again by Battlefront. So some of the Soviet tanks were quite, I don't know if it'd be unique, but quite unusual in that they had little machine gun cupolas in the back of the turrets. I don't know how effective they would have been, but there they are. So that's a command tank. I should really have put the commander sticking out the top of that one, but I didn't think that far ahead. Again, this isn't in the order of battle, but I seem to have loads of these, so I thought I'd try and use another one. This is an actual resin BA-64, so I've given it a little recce company. And then there's 2 companies of KV-1s. And there they are. And they're quite big chunky tanks, those actually. Yeah. So that's pretty much my whole Soviet army. I do have some more bits and pieces, but they don't really fit in anywhere. I'm already pushing it a bit by trying to squeeze things in just so I can use the models I've got. But anything else, it's just that I've got a right old random collection of Soviet bits and pieces. I may return to it at some point. Okay then, so as you can see, got a fair few Soviets there. Way enough for a game anyway. What I kind of envisaged was, when putting this together, that the Soviet Rifle Regiment would all be dug in. It's like a cursed defence force that would take on my Panzer Grenadiers that I showed you in the last video. And then as off-table reserves, you'd have this tank brigade that would come on to represent like the armoured reserves that were at Kursk. Yeah, that was kind of the idea. But there you go anyway, there's my Soviets. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye bye.